What's up? It's Chris, your spiritual mentor. And today I wanted to talk with you about something. So, a theme that has been coming up for me lately, and especially for a lot of my clients, is the theme of letting go of chasing. So, a lot of us, we were taught to work hard and to chase after the things that we want. And if we chase hard enough, and if we do the right stuff, and if we have the right level of talent, then we're going to achieve that, right? That's kind of the mentality. But does that really work? And especially as someone that's more spiritually awakened, is that the way that we're most aligned to do that? Let's rewind time a little bit. Let's go back to 2019. So in 2019, I was working as a commercial real estate agent in Beverly Hills. I worked at a top Fortune 150 level company. And there were people in my office like that I would pass by, to get coffee that made $20 million per year. So after college, because I went to UCLA, I got a really good job and I was in an environment with a lot of high performers. But I just knew that that wasn't for me. I just knew that I couldn't live a life like that. I knew that if I had to be in that environment for the next 30 years, then I would not be happy. Let's just put it that way. And I knew that I had to find some other way. But at the time, I thought I probably would have had to work super hard and create some crazy, insane business in order to quit my job, or I would have to just go find a different job that I liked more, which didn't really seem like it could have really been an option at the time, because it really seemed like any sort of job where I had a boss, I just would have not been able to be aligned. And that may or may not have been true. There might have been other types of jobs that I could have done that had more freedom. Even though I had plenty of freedom in commercial real estate, it just wasn't the type of frequency that I wanted around me. It wasn't the type of lifestyle. I didn't like what I was doing every day. I didn't like the business prospecting and that kind of business. I wanted to actually do something that I felt was meaningful. I wanted to do something that I felt would impact people in the way that they actually needed and would be in alignment with how my soul wanted to serve people. So I started deciding that I wanted to be a spiritual coach, because a couple years before that, I had seen a spiritual coach do a seminar and I was like, this is so amazing. I can't believe somebody is successful off of teaching people about energy. I had never heard of it. I knew you could be a psychologist or a therapist, and I knew there was like life coaches like Tony Robbins, but I didn't really understand that there were kind of not as famous energy healers or energy workers that made a full-time living. And not only a full-time living, but the energy coach I saw charged $1,200 per session. So he was making probably multi-six figures, maybe even millions per year off of energy work. So this was like 2016 when I saw that guy in seminar and kind of told myself I wanted to be a spiritual coach. But then it wasn't until around 2019 that I actually decided I want to make this happen soon. I don't want to wait until I'm like 50 to become a spiritual coach. I can do this in my 20s. And I started to see other people online around 2020 become full-time with coaching businesses. So I just decided that I could do it. So I had decided that I wanted to become a full-time spiritual coach and energy worker, but I didn't really know how I was going to do that. And I was in this frequency of chasing. I really wanted to get away from my job. I wanted to stop going to work. I wanted to make money from something else. I wanted a whole different lifestyle. And I was completely rejecting my current life and kind of feeling sad for myself. And I wasn't that focused on actually adding value to other people in my newly formed spiritual coaching business. So what I did was I just kept kind of dilly-dallying. And I was really attached. I would post a YouTube video, and then every time it would get only like 20 views, I would be upset. And I would think that I did something wrong. And then I wouldn't post again for months. And it just wasn't working. I was still stuck in the same job. I wasn't getting any traction online. And I was really reaching a point of a lot of unhappiness because my misalignment was adding up to a high level. And then in 2020, the big world-changing event, which I won't say for YouTube guidelines reasons, happened. And that event caused everybody to go inside their houses. And so I couldn't do as much commercial real estate work. So I wasn't really obligated to. And during that time, I actually started to really commit to producing content. But this time I did it with a different attitude. My attitude towards it was I'm just going to show up every day and build, and the right people will come. I'm so tired of trying to make the right video, the right thing, the right sales approach in order to get this business going. I'm just going to show up and build what I think is awesome. And I know that people are going to respond well to it at some point. So I started posting really consistently, probably around April 2020. And then around May 2020, I started to blow up a little bit on TikTok. So I had started to post on Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube at that point. And I started to get some viral traction on TikTok. And then I think it was June 2020 that I got my very first spiritual coaching client. And then the week after, I got another spiritual coaching client. And that's when I quit my job. So within 2 months of giving up the chasing energy while still continuing to build, I achieved my goal that I had set out to maybe 4 years before. And now it's been 5 years since then, and I've been a full-time spiritual coach since then. And I live in Hawaii. I've traveled the world. I was just in Italy for 2 weeks about a month ago. I can work from wherever I want. I have an amazing girlfriend who's my soulmate, who we live together. And, life is just really amazing. So why is it that I was able to manifest my dreams so quickly once I let go of that chasing energy? Well, for one, I think that it was just that time in my life where I was ready to have some expansion. I think I had been setting that intention for years at that point, and it finally had built up to a point where it manifested into my reality. But it wouldn't have been at that point if I was still in the chasing energy. So let's talk about what chasing energy is and why you don't want to be in that basically ever. Chasing energy is you telling the universe that it's not enough as it is. So you're saying this right here that I have in this moment is not enough. But this thing that I'm trying to get, that I may get in the future, is enough. And I'm going to force myself towards that goal until I achieve it. So chasing energy basically tells the universe as it is now that it's not enough, it's in lack, you don't like it, you're not vibing with it. And what do you think is going to get reflected back to you if that's what you're saying about life? So chasing energy comes from lack. If you're chasing after something that's not here, it means you lack something now. So you are saying to the universe, I lack something now. And then the universe is reflecting back to you saying, you lack something now. Right? And then you're confused as to why you're not manifesting the amount of money you want and why your dreams are not coming true and why the people in your life are still in the same frequency as they used to be and you're not manifesting that true soul tribe of people around you. It's because you're telling the universe that it's not enough, so it's matching your frequency. When we get out of chase, we get into a different frequency. We get into the frequency of gratitude, enjoyment, love, fun. We start to look at what we have now and how life is now as this amazing, really fun, interesting journey that we're blessed to be on. And we want to give the now a big hug. And when we act like that towards the now, then what do you think the universe reflects back to us? Another hug. So if we're hugging the now, saying, this is so awesome, then what do you think the future is going to look like for us? More reasons to hug the now and go, this is so awesome. Right? Can you feel that? Can you feel the difference between that and the chasing energy of like anxiously like trying to figure out the right plan to take, trying to force yourself to do the thing that you're supposed to do today in order to get to where you think you need to go? You try to manipulate people's understandings of you so they think of you in a positive light, so they'll give you stuff. You know, you're trying to put on a show so that the universe gives you something. And putting on a show is never really going to work out in this type of reality because real recognize real. Life is going to recognize if you are in a higher alignment or if you're not. And if you're not, then you're going to get reflected back to you what you actually are in. It doesn't matter what your fantasy reality where you fake smile and avoid all your pain. It doesn't matter what that reality says. It matters what the reality that is actually here on planet Earth, manifested in consciousness. It matters how you actually are vibrating in this reality. You might think that you're ready for your dreams, just like maybe me in 2017 or 2018 thought I was ready to manifest my dreams, but you might just not be there yet, and that's okay. It doesn't mean anything bad if you're just not quite there yet. Sometimes we just have some stuff to work through. To give an example, I feel like I haven't leveled up in manifestation much since like 2020 or 2021. Because around 2020 and 2021 is when I manifested my dream business and my soulmate. And since then, it's just been more integrating. Since I manifested my soulmate and my soulmate business, it's simply just been me integrating the fact that I have basically everything that I asked for now. And I still have things that I want in the future and expansions upon a lot of this stuff. I want to be a big music artist. I want my music to reach a lot of people. I want people to be impacted through retreats that I host. I want to own a lot of properties across the world that I can build and develop into these amazing community spaces and retreat centers and healing centers, all the sort. So I have way bigger manifestations that honestly, in the past couple of years, they haven't really landed that much, but I'm preparing for that. I'm building. I'm not chasing that. I don't need the $1 million property that I'm building a retreat center on right in this very moment. I don't need the #1 song in this very moment, but I'm building the space for that. I'm practicing guitar. I'm recording. I'm making amazing music. I'm looking into real estate. I'm looking at what that would be like to build a retreat business and then to purchase real estate. I'm looking at all the different sides of that. I'm understanding it. I'm enjoying that process, but I don't need it to be here now. I'm actually completely fine if it doesn't show up for another 5 or 10 years. I just trust the divine path. And I trust that if I'm not ready to receive something yet, then I don't need to receive it. And I also trust that when I am ready and I am open, then I will receive it. So really ask yourself, could you even handle the reality that you're asking the universe for? If you actually were, let's say, like a millionaire coach. So let's say you had like 10 or 20 clients, or you had a lot of, business systems operating and you were servicing hundreds or thousands of people. Could you handle the energy of that? Could you handle the energy of having so many people in your energetic field? Could you handle the backlash from people that are jealous or angry or view you in a negative light? Because I know I wasn't ready for that. When I went viral for spiritual stuff, I thought I was only going to have to deal with like super religious people, I guess, that didn't like that I was talking about God in a non-religious sense. But I realized I get more hate from other spiritual people that disagree with me, rather than from atheist people or from religious people. So I get a lot more hate than I expected to as a spiritual creator. I thought people would be either like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. Or they'd be like, that's the devil because I'm Christian. I didn't really expect that people would be like, that's actually not the real use of the 7th chakra. It's actually more, like semantic police that are trying to pin down truth into language and then arrest other people for disobeying their version of the law. Whatever that is. There's a lot of people that do kind of stuff like that. And I didn't really realize how much hate that I would be receiving and pressure. But there's a lot of pressure in even being in my position where, I get millions of views sometimes. On YouTube, I haven't really blown up. I have like one bigger video, but I get a lot of attention on me, and I get at least like thousands of people that look at my face every day through my short form content and through my YouTube videos. So it's the energy of it is more intense than you might assume. So ask yourself, can I really handle what I'm asking for? And If the answer is no, then you should either ask for something different that you can handle, or you should accept that you're going to continue through this purification and grounding process until you can handle that which you're calling in. So remember, folks, God/the universe is only going to give you things that you can sustain. The universe is not here to just bless you with everything you want. It's here to bless you with everything you want that you could actually handle and would actually be good for you. That's the process. So don't forget that. Check in and increase your ability to hold energy, to withstand other people's judgments, and also to stay on your path when there's lots of distractions. Because a lot of time when you get more success, you also get more distractions. So it's super important to show the universe that even if you had a lot of success, you would still stay very streamlined and on your path. Another question that you can ask yourself is, what would the version of me that has all those things that I want be doing today? If that person was plopped into this part of my life, what would they be doing today? And then maybe do some of those things. What this does is it helps you shift your identity so that you can ground into the energy of the reality that you want. Because if you haven't shifted your identity, then a lot of the times you're just kind of downloading energy and then releasing it. And you're not anchoring in anything in a way that you could actually receive something in the physical plane. So everyone out there, stop chasing. Whatever you want probably wants you even more than you want it. The universe wants amazing things to get created through humanity. So you just need to surrender. You just need to forget about the outcome for a little bit. Focus on how awesome life is right now. Have a lot of fun. Tap into your true joy for life. Find that balance of letting go of the outcome, but still aggressively approaching life. And when I say aggressive, I mean just relentless. Really take a lot of aligned action. Don't be shy. Don't try to make everything perfect. Really unleash on life. Let life feel what you've got. Push yourself, but not in a way where you're anxiously and frustratedly pushing yourself. Push yourself how someone pushes themselves in a hobby or a sport when they just want to have a little more fun. So they push themselves to do even better. They run a little faster to catch that pass. They throw the ball a little bit harder this next time. You know, you want to be at your limit and at your edge, pushing it forward, but at the same time, surrendered and not chasing the outcome. And if you're looking for some spiritual mentorship, I have a free 30-minute call where you can get on a call with me and we can discuss your journey and what's going on in your life right now and map out a strategy to get you unstuck and rebalanced so that you can really approach life from alignment, let go of that chasing mentality, and get into deep alignment. So if you want to do that, then book it. You can schedule it at the description in this video. So thanks so much for watching today. It's been an absolute pleasure. We also have the Circle of Wisdom community. So if you want to hop on Zoom calls, hang out in the group chat, and meet other awesome spiritual people that like this content too and are engaging on this frequency level, then join the Circle of Wisdom. There's other tiers that you can upgrade to down the line if you want to, where you can get weekly sessions with multiple different mentors. So yeah, go check that out. Thanks so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you next time.